Jill Young.
Hi, Shannon Waller.
Head coach.
Oh my gosh.
EOS Worldwide. Thank you so much for being here.
You are so welcome, and thank you for having this conference, because this is mind-blowing fun. You know, I've always called Strategic Coach Disneyland for entrepreneurs. It really is. It's like better than Disneyland right now. Everybody's having so much fun, so many connections, so many ahas and insights. It's exactly what I thought it would be, and 10 times more.
Wow.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love that. So just to make sure everyone knows who you are, what we're talking about today, EOS Worldwide.
Yes.
So a little bit, just a brief description of what you and what you do, and then how long have you been in coach?
Oh my goodness. Well, how long do we have?
Yes.
No, brief. See, Shannon said brief.
Yeah, less than 20 minutes.
She knows me. It's brief. So I'm Jill Young. I am the head coach at EOS Worldwide, and I'm an expert EOS implementer. I've been doing this for over 10 years.
Ow. In how many sessions?
In 10 days, I will be doing this for 10 years. Isn't that cool? So I'm almost at my 10-year mark, and over 1,000 sessions.
That's what I was going to say. We were $9.99.
Yes, you were. That was so much fun.
So Jill is Strategic Coach's EOS implementer. We run on EOS.
It's super
and
fun.
we were $9.99. I was a little bummed not to be 1,000, to be perfectly honest, but that was next week. Anyway, congratulations on.
Thank you.
That's quite the achievement.
Thank you. When I look back at it, I almost can't believe, like, you think about the number 1,000. That's a lot. But I just, it's a day by day being present every day. And yeah, that's what I do.
Awesome.
Of course, EOS Worldwide, we have this amazing product for entrepreneurs and their companies called EOS, the Entrepreneurial Operating System. And Strategic Coach and EOS have just always worked so well together. I know, Shannon, you and I riff on this a lot, but we say Strategic Coach is for the entrepreneur and to get them clear in their thinking. And then EOS is for their whole company to get that clear thinking delivered and embodied throughout the whole entire company. And they just work like a glove.
That's the collaboration is phenomenal. And the fact that Gino's been in coach for 20 plus, maybe 27 years, can't remember, and created it. It's so synchronous. It just works so well.
It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
I sometimes will explain it as like our DNA is like we're relatives. Because Gino was in Strategic Coach and had all of that beautiful Strategic Coach DNA of abundance and like the way Dan views competition. It's like, no, just go be more unique.
Yeah.
Go be more unique. Abundance, give it to the world.
Yeah.
And it's just attracted amazing entrepreneurs to be implementers, to then deliver the product to all of our friends.
Which we love.
Yes.
So how many years have you been in coach now?
I joined Coach in 2018.
Wow.
In 2018. In fact, I'm reminded of this often.
Okay.
Every morning, I'm a big fan of working out in the morning. It just really works for my energy. And I have this favorite jacket that I wear every morning to work out that I got from Strategic Coach. And it has a Strategic Coach. It says Jill 2018. So I'm reminded.
There you go. I love that story.
I'm so grateful for that. So yes, is that 6 years now?
Yeah,
6 and
it is.
Whoa, 6 now. And I'm a lifetime member. I am continually, as an entrepreneur, as a coach, as a human, I'm continually unfolding. I love that analogy of unfolding because I'm already whole and complete.
Right.
It's like a picnic blanket. It's all there. But when you roll it out, it covers more ground. It can absorb more sunshine. And every single time I interact with the tools, or Shannon, when you and I have a phone call, or I go to a connection call, or I have my mid-quarter check-in call with my program advisor, I just continually unfold. So why would I take myself out of a place?
That's a great point.
Even if I'm coming to coach and I'm like, oh, I'm tired and I'm cranky. I'm like, get myself inside Strategic Coach, and I come out a new person. So
I love it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All of them valuable and unique years.
And many more to come.
And some of them more unique than others.
Exactly. We all have our challenges. So you talked about being an entrepreneur and being inspired. So what inspires you as an entrepreneur? I'm curious. I don't know the answer to this question.
It goes all the way to the core of the human being. If we look at what we're doing as being an entrepreneur, the way my brain sees it is we're just playing this beautiful, interesting, fascinating game. And if we can invite humans to play this game with us, where they're also unfolding, there's that word again, that is creating spaces where humans can unfold. That's the greatest thing that inspires me as an entrepreneur. It's the people. As a coach, I'm in the inner sanctum with teams just like yours, Shannon. And I just get that privilege of watching people unfold. And then when people unfold, there's an idea that unfolds. And when the idea unfolds, well, let's just go back to the idea of CoachCon. I was there in the room when someone on the team said, what if we had a conference?
It was Kathy.
Our sweet little Kathy Davis. And then to watch that unfold and be a part of it, like I'm goosebumps all over. That's what inspires me as an entrepreneur. So how do we create those experiences for humans to unfold? It's all about that for me.
That's very powerful. So people unfold in terms of who they are, their consciousness, their capabilities, their self-awareness, and then the ideas unfold. I've never heard it sequenced like that before. I've experienced it a million times. It's like when people are tight and in a fearful environment, in a crappy culture where they're not supported or rewarded, they're punished and like micromanaged. They're tight. Right, curled up little flower.
Tied up. And sometimes with duct tape and twine, and it's really hard to get it to unfold.
Totally, and they have to eject themselves just to survive. And then when you unfold, if you have that fundamental, we're gonna talk about mindsets later, this mindset that, wow, there's great capabilities within that person, how can we help them unfold enough to actually let those ideas out?
The ideas unfold.
That is very powerful.
Thank you. And just riffing on that, because this is what we do, when I can unfold and you unfold, here comes this idea that's bouncing along. And this, this is a fun little animation of an idea. I was first sparked by this by a book, Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert, where she's like, I think that ideas are like a thing. And it's just these ideas bounce around. If we give them some animation, they're like, ooh, where can I unfold? Well, Shannon is open and Jill is open, so let's go there. And then it's wonderful to watch those ideas unfold.
Oh, that's so exciting.
So much fun.
So
much fun.
Given that, we believe that entrepreneurs, and I know you do too, are the driving force behind expanding innovation and economic growth, right?
Yes. Nurturing those ideas. Like, there they go.
So from your perspective, how can entrepreneurs impact this growth in a meaningful way?
This is going to be a not sexy answer.
I love it.
I know, because sometimes it's not sexy answers. We've got to master the basics, which is why EOS is so beautiful. We've got to stick to those fundamentals. And in the beginning, it's like, living in a 90-day world or coming to a level 10 weekly 90-minute leadership team meeting feels not sexy. But too many times, Shannon, I see just from my entrepreneurial friends, they have this idea and there's nowhere for it to land. It's like there's nowhere for this beautiful idea to plant in fertile soil. If we can just, the soil's not sexy.
Right.
It's brown and wet and laying there and but there's life in that.
Right.
So if we can wrap our heads and hearts around, master these fundamentals, if they don't feel sexy right now, if it feels clunky, it's only clunky for a little bit. You're tilling that soil, you're laying the foundations. It is the thing that will help entrepreneurs move forward. We say this a lot, it's kind of funny, but it's vision, those ideas without traction, that fundamental is just hallucination. And we can hallucinate on the weekends, my friends, but like this getting this idea into the world needs like a firm foundation, some soil. So that's why I'm so passionate about it, because I can see entrepreneurs take these ideas, they plant them in firm soil of their teams being successful. I love your book.
Thank you.
Your book, thank you. Team success. That's the firm and fertile soil. Yeah.
It's interesting, and right. So I'm going to say that again.
Yeah.
Because that was really good.
Okay, say it again.
Right?
I like that.
Like so the first sort of ideas.
Yes, the ideas.
The ideas without
a firm,
vision,
fertile soil. Vision
without
traction is hallucination.
Hallucination.
And we can let those ideas, if they're not developed and given purchase and roots, let's go with the soil, given roots, they'll go somewhere else.
It's true. And I think visionaries, with whom we both work, and I am one.
And I
As
am
are
one.
you.
Takes one
It's
to
like
know
that.
one.
It's not sexy. Like we want to go pursue the new idea, but it's the hard work of nurturing the soil and making sure it's rich and making sure it has all the nutrients it needs, so that it actually something can be planted and grow. I think that's a really interesting.
And when we can free visionaries to develop those ideas and bring them back to companies who are strong in the 6 key components. Vision, people, data, issues, process, traction. That's it. Strong in those 6 key components. Get them to then plant the seed and then go find another idea. Let this company nurture and pull the weeds, but that could be the missing link to not accelerate entrepreneurism in the world. If we're not careful.
And what happens to people who don't? So they're all vision, no traction. What's the cost there?
That is. I'm not a sad person, Shannon. I don't know if you've noticed it or not.
Geez,
but
never.
Meeting entrepreneurs like that, I'm specifically thinking of one who was just in and out of my life personally.
Okay.
Who just was brilliant and passionate and could never settle into traction. He would quit too early. He wouldn't put a team into place. He wouldn't listen to feedback from customers and ideas. He was just so much up here, and he's just brilliant. And now, just maybe 3 or 4 months ago, I saw him in a grocery store, just in there, and he's sad, and he's worn out, and he's tired, and he's lost his confidence. And that right there is gets me right there. Just gets me right there. And that's what, just at the very bare bones, we lose our confidence. We lose our confidence if we can't see those ideas grow.
And then the world never gets the benefit of those ideas, which could be transformational.
They just don't. They could be really transformational. Now I've just become exponentially sad, Shannon.
Sorry about that.
No, but you're so right that his ideas were beautiful and they were before his time, and he could never settle into, we're going to do these non-sexy things to give the idea purchase and roots.
Yes. I love it.
And that's what EOS does for companies. Which is why we're such a great partnership. Those visionaries can bring the ideas back, and the company is like, we know exactly who we are, we know what to do, we know the vision, we know our processes. Spread the roots.
Do that again.
That's part of my magic, Shannon.
I know.
It's the sound effects.
I like it. I like it. I love it. I love it. So, and this might be similar to what you just answered, but what dangers or obstacles do you think are most relevant for entrepreneurs right now? We're in interesting, I mean, may you live in interesting times, is the quote, and it's particularly interesting right now. But what do you see? What dangers, obstacles are, especially with your clientele, all the companies that you coach, what are you observing?
I've got a couple of things that are popping into my mind from clients I'm working with right now, because that's the only thing my brain can.
100%.
I don't theorize.
No.
I just bring it right down to the ground. One of them that I see across the board is access to too much data.
Interesting. Not too little.
Not too little.
It's not a scarcity problem, it's an abundance problem.
It's an abundance problem. And we are hungry for it, and I love data. That's one of our key components. And we love prediction. We need to know what's going on. What's happening, what I see, is there's access to so much data because we have technology, sensors, automation, all of that, that it's hard for them to get clarity on what is the important data. So Shannon, you know our tools. One of the tools is the scorecard. We say at the leadership team, measure 5 to 15 measurables.
Right.
And sometimes they're like, but we need, we need all of these measurables at all of our locations in front of our face at all times. It's not going to give us anything if we have a total. And they're trying to look at too much in there, and therefore, if everything's important, nothing's important. Mm-hmm. And they're missing the real signals if they're looking at everything. So
they get caught in the weeds.
Yeah, caught in the weeds, or they start on a tangent. Mm-hmm. That's caught in the weeds too. A tangent of, well, why did this number go down? When really, like, these 3 major numbers are off. And sometimes that's the sexiness of this number that's off track, and they want to ignore the big stuff. So just paring that down and having the discipline to pare that down, mm-hmm. pare down the data.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Is there another big danger that you see?
Yes. It is not allowing the idea to take the time the idea needs. Mm-hmm. So if something is not working the first time, mm-hmm. they want to change too many things, or kill it, or push through and not listen. But it's like, what is the idea trying to tell us? What is this new venture trying to tell us? And it's maybe just not settling with their intuition for a minute. Yep. So I can see things of jumping to a conclusion real quick, or getting right back to scarcity or fear. And it's like, can we let's just give it some time, because things happen with time.
Yes.
We try to rush things. So maybe it's what I'm seeing is it's the rushing.
Right.
When we try to rush things, we miss so much of the opportunity mm-hmm. that is right in front of us.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know if that was super clear, but
yep.
now it's been bringing me back to but it's the rushing,
yeah.
the speed at which we want things to happen.
Being too impatient. Yeah. All right, so
allow it to flow. Yeah. Let's just let it flow. Oh, here's a nice little thing that might package that. Go where the energy is going.
Right.
Like, go with the flow of the thing instead of lots of resisting
and pushing.
Go with the flow of the energy, and pushing.
Yeah, similar, not exactly the same. But Dan has this really fun expression: ride the horse in the direction it's already going.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yes.
Instead of trying to like fight.
Yes,
and
the Joe says easy, but it's like where the energy, lucrative and fun, is flowing.
Yes, easy.
And I know he says easy, but for me, when the energy's flowing.
Right.
But there's so many good things that can happen when you have that sure foundation. Follow the energy.
Awesome, love it.
Cool.
So this might actually tie in. What mindsets or strategies will most drive future progress for entrepreneurs? What do you see as critical?
Oh, geez, yes. Oh, so good, so good. There's 3 of them, and 2 of them kind of go together.
Okay.
The first one is curiosity.
Ooh, love that.
Things are changing so much. Things are opening and developing, and the mindset of curiosity, which I'm realizing now that I'm, also thinking about this through the mindset of a coach, that when we have that mindset of curiosity, mm-hmm. all things are possible. Mm-hmm. There is no judgment.
Right.
There is no judgment.
Be curious, not judgmental. Ted Lasso.
Yes. Ted Lasso.
There you go.
I wish I was best friends with Ted Lasso.
I know,
think
right?
Maybe we are. In some kind of world, we're best friends.
Like that.
Ted Lasso. Let's just make that happen.
Okay.
This curiosity is without judgment. So we entrepreneurs here, we know what we do. We know what we do well. We've been taught to follow our strengths, our unique ability. And sometimes I get in the strength of my unique ability. I'm like, oh, I already know that. I was in one of the breakouts yesterday, and I found myself going into this and relaxing into it, going, yeah, I know that. And I caught myself. And And I'm like, wait, but what could I be more curious about that I don't know about this topic that I think I know everything about?
Right.
So can we nurture that curiosity? I think that's going to bring us into the future.
Nice.
Because every conversation we have can teach us something. But we gotta let go of that I already know it all.
Ooh.
The curiosity.
And the older you get, and the more experienced you get, the more you think you know.
Of course.
Right? So I'm dying to know, what are the other two?
Okay, the other two, they go together.
Okay.
And we say them all the time in EOS. If you are going to go on this journey to become the best company ever, one of the mindsets you must have is to be open and honest.
Oh.
Open and honest. So open, maybe it's going right with curiosity, but open meaning I am open to a new way or a new thought. Honest also meaning, like, if I'm uncomfortable or uneasy or I'm stuck or I have no idea what you're talking about, Shannon, to be honest with that.
Yeah.
Say, Shannon, I'm behind right now. Shannon, I don't know what's going on over there. I don't know, because when you can be open to a new idea and honest with how you're thinking about it or feeling about it, we can do so much with that.
Love it.
We as EOS implementers can do so much with that. Mm-hmm. Shannon, if you are like closed-minded and not honest with how you're thinking and feeling right now, sister, I can't help you. and I think that is, so you're being open and honest, like the world is open to you.
Okay, so if we go from the top,
Entrepreneurism.
this is amazing. This is amazing. So just imagine trying to coach someone who is not curious but judgmental, not open but closed, right?
Yeah.
And
you see me?
Honest, but not honest, but in fact, I don't even want to
holding back.
Holding back.
Holding back. Have a shell, layers.
There's no growth possible.
Yeah, and do you see what I do with that? I'm like, then I am not in my best.
No.
I'm like, well, then what do I do with that?
Yeah.
What I could do with that, I could manipulate you.
Ooh.
I could blame and shame you.
Yes.
I could force you into things, and I'm not into that.
No.
I'm not. That might work short term.
Yeah, but not long.
Right? You can coerce people into that. We don't do that in EOS.
No.
We say, are you open-minded, honest, willing to be vulnerable, growth-minded? If you are, awesome, thumbs up.
Yep.
Come run on EOS. I know Strategic Coach says the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, if this is who you are, come on in, let's rock and roll.
Yeah. And it's really interesting. I want to go back to the curious because I think that's kind of brilliant. The curious for me is and open-minded is not. But curious is like, oh, I wonder.
I
right?
wonder.
And then you're open to receive.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like that's pretty cool. And then, right, like honest, you're like, okay, I resonate with that. I don't know quite how I do that. It's kind of scary. And as again, entrepreneur who's got some track behind them, it's kind of a big deal to be able to be that. But that's, I think, a phenomenal aspiration for entrepreneurs. And certainly we know the ones who, in our mindset scorecard, that's stage 4. Like that's transformation minded.
That's right.
Right? That's transformational, growth oriented. If there's something I can learn, bam, I'm in.
There we go.
Yeah.
The other word I want to add to this that I think is really empowering, especially for entrepreneurs who are listening, that might be saying, oh, Jill and Shannon, it's easy for you to say, or, you don't get like all of the struggles that we're in. We do. Shannon, are we in struggles every day?
All the time.
We do. And here's the key. If you're thinking, well, am I curious? Am I open? Am I honest? The key word here is willing to.
Yeah.
I can work with a team, EOS implementers, we can work with a team they are willing to crack the door, even 1% with vulnerability. I got you.
Yeah.
Strategic Coach, we got you.
And you don't even have to.
You don't even 100%.
You don't even have to want to. Are you willing? It's a whole different part of the being.
Oh, that's
right. You can not want to, but if you're willing, you're good.
You're willing, because there's a courageous piece.
Yes.
Like, a Strategic Coach teaches the 4 C's, which I am a beneficiary of it. Can you commit to yourself that you want to be the best? Now you take that courage and you say, I'm going to be willing to be open, honest, curious, vulnerable. And the Strategic Coach has you. They've got beautiful coaches who ask you curious questions.
Yeah.
The beginning of every session, like within 30 seconds, you're writing about your own curiosities. Same thing with EOS. We've got you. We can help.
Yeah.
We were the fertile soil. We're the fertile
and you
soil.
develop the capabilities in the company.
Yeah.
I love
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
So just to wrap up, if people want to know more about EOS Worldwide, if they want to know how to implement it, maybe they want to become a coach, like an implementer. So how can they track you down? And you also have a bunch of your own books too that really support everything that we're talking about in terms of being a phenomenal, top-level, first-rate, brilliant entrepreneur. So how can people find EOS Worldwide and Jill Young?
Very best way to find anything about EOS is eosworldwide.com.
Yep.
It will take you in all kinds of directions. But I would, if people are really thinking they want to run on EOS, your very first step is to have a 90-minute meeting with an implementer like me. There's 800 of us throughout the world.
Yep.
It's free. We teach during that 90 minutes. So find that part on the website. If you can't find it, call me.
Yep.
There you go.
There you go.
If you want to connect with me, that's jyoung@eosworldwide.com or jill@jillyoung.com. That's where you can find my books. Just a highlight of one of my books, thank you, Shannon, is The Courage Advantage. And The Courage Advantage is just some of my personal curious observations. In that book, I'm open and honest about some pitfalls you might find running on EOS. And it's just a little heads up, a little cheat sheet on some things that you and your team can do to be courageous as you're running on the system. Because it's simple. It's not always easy. And we got you. The coaches got you.
And entrepreneurism is not for the faint of heart.
You can say that again.
I love it. Jill, thank you so much. Such a pleasure
Shannon.
to, we coach each other, each other's clients, and to get your wisdom on stage and with the podcast.
This is just like playtime.
100%.
Thank you, Shannon, and just for everything you've done in my personal life, the encouraging of my work, the insights being coached by you, they're just like a 10x valuable. I'll use your language. 10x valuable. So thank you.
Right back at you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.